If not me, then who? If not you, then who? Guys, something I was talking about in the Train 2 Standards video and other ones like that, trying to train you up, train accordingly. Talking about the mass attacker event at the In-N-Out in Twin Falls, Idaho yesterday. And obviously not everything's official yet, but as best as I can figure, here's kind of what happened. Scumbag 24-year-old starts shooting in, I think, through the drive-through window, both traffic going by and then into the drive-through window at the In-N-Out. Multiple people injured. One woman killed, an In-N-Out employee. The reports I'm reading now are 3 killed, 7 injured. So, yeah, tragic event. Could have been a heck of a lot worse, as anyone watching this channel is well aware of. There's at least 2, probably, if not 3 people that came to a rescue and made the casualty numbers way less than they would have been. It's a very highly populated area, mall right there, traffic you can see going by, very bad. So if not me, then who? If not you, then who? So you have to train up accordingly. You have to follow your ABCs, always be carrying, EDC, everyday carry. Okay. Jordan Salinas is one of those heroes that's being reported now. Okay. We also believe that inside the event, inside the In-N-Out when it started, was probably an off-duty state police officer that returned, probably fired just out through the portal of, one of the drive-through windows, is my guess. And then he probably came out to help suppress and drive back the scumbag. Okay. Jordan Salinas. It looks like he used his FN-57 pistol with a can on it. Of course, cans are very nice for your neighbors and all over Europe, so you don't bug your neighbors and you don't get hearing damage. That would be a good thing. He did post October 1st of 2024, so just less than 2 years ago, him training, kind of jumping out of his vehicle and engaging steel 20 yards away. And he was upset with himself, holding himself to standards, saying 1B and 2Cs, I want more A zones. Also very important, what he said in the caption of that social media post: train like your life depends on it, because God forbid, one day it might. Stay free, stay safe, and stay frosty. I think that kind of aligns with, things I'm talking about on this channel. It looks like him. It looks like there was an off-duty state trooper, as best as being reported. He might have had a friend in. I'm guessing he was in line in this vehicle, the long lines that In-N-Out have on the West Coast, guys. Actually pretty good stuff, okay? It gets ridiculous lines. So, and I think on the bottom of the cups, if what I saw is true today, it says 3:16 for the Bible verse. So that's also interesting too. We got a man who publicly is posting his LARPing, getting made fun of forever, that obviously knew exactly the right LARP that he had to practice. Jumping out of his vehicle and engaging a threat far away. 2 years ago, he was posting literally about his hits at 20 yards. Some reports I'm seeing that did aerial footage, they are saying 50 to 60 yards away. So I don't want to hear about your 3-yard, 3 shots, 3-second BS that I've been hampering on, okay? In lieu of others, trying to protect other people, being a protector, training up to standards to be a protector. This is serious business. I have felt like I was going to be called upon at some point to do something similar. Not saying I would do as good or anything like that, but, I'm trying to prep for it, and I thought it was going to happen a couple years ago. Sure seems like maybe he got a download or a dream or something, maybe for this exact incident. It looks like he didn't hit the bad guy that we know of yet, but he definitely drove him off, and I'm sure the off-duty did as well. He may have had a friend that jumped out of his car, possibly grabbed the rifle on the very video, which looks like an FN, probably an FN P90, possibly an FS-2000 that I carried on the G.I. Joe movie, except for when they did the full attack, and I carried the AA-12. But you know, he had prepped, and he was called upon, and he did what was needed in the time that was needed. There are some reports that maybe he is one of the people that was hit with return fire. It kind of looks like it a little bit in the video, and then he jumped in the bushes. People are like, oh, he's scared and he jumped in the bushes. No shit. When have you had 5.56 rounds coming at you at close distance, directed specifically at you? The people online are absolutely fucking idiots and trolls. Okay. He may have actually been hit. There's some mixed reporting on that. I don't do Facebook, but there's some Facebook posts saying that. The last thing I saw on Wikipedia says 3 killed, 7 injured. Okay. So the scumbag, I think, started shooting through the drive-through window. Probably the off-duty fired back at him. He started driving away. Jordan Salinas jumped out, possibly with a friend. Like, I'm going to go to work with a pistol. You go grab, you know, it's going to take a second to grab. There might have been an actual, you know, carbine or rifle involved, possibly. The asshole targeted a Tesla, possibly a Tesla taxi driver, I think with a wife in the vehicle, and you can see the footage shooting through the windshield of the Tesla. Of course, these completely insane people being shoved down insane ideologies, communist ideologies, loaded up on SSRIs, antidepressants, and everything friggin' wacko. That makes them think, oh, Tesla's bad. Like, that was probably a reason, even though just a few years ago, Tesla's good, saving the world with our electric vehicles. Okay? The community probably made fun of him for being a LARPer. I've gotten some of that too. In fact, in that video he posted, that great quote in 2024, he drew from his shoulder holster his Suppress FN 5.7 pistol and went to the Center Axis Relock or John Wick position. I teach it modified, better to keep your elbow into the ribs as structural support. In fact, I just did a video on that just a few days ago responding to an Ollie shooting, how to break right from contact on 3 targets with the FN 509C comped that I got from Sage Dynamics here in Cowan. Train accordingly. I've been trying to train accordingly. Have you guys been trying to train accordingly? Salinas did. I hope he's alive. I hope he gets vastly rewarded if he was. Whether he hit the scumbag or not, he drove him off and he saved countless lives. Okay? If he is alive, I certainly hope that he's invited to the White House. I certainly hope that FN America pays this guy a nice sumly contract to advertise, since FN 5.7, and I'm not a big 5.7 fan, and maybe, you know, even in that video, I think it was a FN P90, possibly FS-2000. And I hope that someone sponsors his ammo quite a bit, like CKG Czech Group, that owns Federal and owns a large part of Fiocchi, and Fiocchi makes 5.7. If you've been training with 5.7, 5.7 isn't cheap, okay? So I hope, like, Czech Group or Fiocchi or somebody gets online. He said he was shooting Vanguard ammo, maybe in that video that you're seeing on X and elsewhere. He was probably, LARPing, probably, you know, heavily influenced, it seems like, by video games maybe, such as Metal Gear, thinking Solid Snake or Splinter Cell with his FN choices, Sam Fisher. Okay. Guy prepared. Guy was called upon. That leads you to called upon. Maybe In and Out has 316 on the cups. Is that true? Someone verify. Let me know down below. Sure seems like he literally made a public post about doing the exact thing, hopping out of the vehicle, going to work with his pistol on an active bad guy at very far distance. Like, literally training for the exact thing. Now, I have my realistic CCW test, because it is the preponderance. I say that over and over again. This is 7 stages, 2 to 15 yards. I have an advanced one. Goes to 25 yards. I have my realistic Dick and drill. After that, Eli Dicken hero handled his business. Okay? And that was, first 2 shots misses 42, first 2 hits at 40 yards. Once he went up to a can or support beam, like probably a garbage can and a support beam. Okay? Which I was the first to talk about that. I was also technically Solid Snake for a minute, so I'll throw that in there in a cinematic against a knife stab, a lunging knife stab, and parried to Katanagi head and arm spin to the ground, since I worked for Konami for 2 weeks. Interesting how things are. My life's certainly been extremely interesting. So if that is Yahweh God, the great creator of the heavens and the earth, or earths, or whatever this simulated matrix is, it certainly is interesting. And it does seem that some people are put in the right spot at the right time to try and combat evil. And you never know when that day is going to be for you. So if not me, who then? A Gabe Waite's saying. I do Gabe Waite standards a lot, and you should be too. If not you, then who? So, if anyone knows more, maybe I'm wrong. Like, I'm not a reporter. But I thought it might be worthy to just kind of talk about a minute. Certainly things could have been far worse, and I don't want to minimize the tragedy. A scumbag murdered what looks like 3 people, a young worker in and out. Oh, by the way, 2:29 p.m. Sunny day, taking their family to eat next to the mall. But I thought it's only at night, and only on the weekends, and only 3 shots, 3 yards, 3 seconds. Stop saying BS and train accordingly. Is this a Black Swan event? Sure. But you better be ready for that Black Swan event. That's why I do, Eli Dicken drills on my stuff. I do the for my church security guys. Why I say you better be prepared in case you miss, or there's 2, a dual Jack Wilson drill. Okay? Maybe go back and take a look at my Train to Standards video. And it seems, I guess that's good to leave this off. Train like your life depends on it. Because God forbid, one day it might. Stay free, stay safe, and stay frosty. I hope he's okay. And if he is one of the ones that perished, or if he's in one of the ones in critical condition, I know that he will be rewarded for doing the right thing at the right time. Thank you, everybody.